So I want to kind of share my idea as well and connect with you, really. Let me share my screen, and I would like to start with a question. Some of you might have seen this when you're applying for jobs. Some of you might not be, might not have seen this at all. But this is something becoming very regular, very common in the asylum and migration charitable sector in the UK. So in job applications, you might see this statement: those with lived experience as refugee are strongly encouraged to apply. So when I first saw this statement in a job application I was doing 4 years ago, that made me think a bit about, like, what does that mean? How would I use my lived experience? I didn't get that job, but I get another job, which made me, to introduce to the area of co-production and meaningful engagement with people with lived experience of seeking asylum. So I am a refugee. I've been through the system, and with this job, I've actually learned a lot about what people are going through, and what are the hidden talents, and what are the aspects of they can actually provide to the charitable sector, to our charities, refugee and migrant charities, which are already doing an amazing job to support, to advocate, to promote the human rights aspect. But actually, later on, I realized that in this journey, this is not just enough. We shouldn't just be kind of putting a statement here and saying, encouraging people to apply. We need to do a bit more. So that's why, with a fantastic group of people, I've established Experts by Experience Employment Initiative, which is a project, which is a volunteer project started already, that we are looking into employment. How do we make sure we employ experts by experience in our charities so that they can lead the charities, they can become the leaders? So how do we establish pathways for them to become leaders of the things that are directly about themselves? So talking about experts by experience, what does that mean? People going through the asylum system will know the best insight about the asylum system. So if you are going to reform the system, so which is what all of our charities are doing, you will need to kind of speak to those people. You will need to work with these people, because they know the true human impact of the policies. They know the true impact of your services if you are a charity providing them a service. So it's best actually work with them to understand what are the true needs and whether your services or your policies addressing the true needs. Simply, refugees should be the leaders of refugee issues. So they should be on the table where the decisions are made. So that's what it's all about. And 2 years ago, there have been some comprehensive research into this area within the charitable sector. So you can see a report here on the left, Taking Stock and Facing the Future, which is a report surveyed more than 100 charity staff members and 26 in-depth interviews with CEOs and directors of charities. And 90% said that there is insufficient involvement of people with lived experience. Another survey from Refugee Action has also expressed and said that only 36% of the survey participants said they are led by someone with lived experience. The reports further provided some solutions. They said that we need to kind of establish these leadership tracks, employment, but also leadership. We need to work more with people, not on behalf of people. And we need to kind of work with them in shaping and developing our activities, policy, advocacy, service design, and everything. So that's why I have joined by a fantastic group of people, and also the ideas of the Ideas into Action program and the Close Social Leadership program, who have helped me kind of develop this idea and actually implement it to see if this is actually kind of helping in this direction, in this solution direction. So what we have done is actually we've set on a mission for equity and lived experience leadership in this sector, and we focused on the equitable employment aspect. So there are already amazing charities and social enterprises supporting refugees in getting into employment, like the previous two, my fellow entrepreneurs have also explained and provided these ideas. But what I saw that actually we need to kind of encourage people more to work in the charity sector, because then they would actually use their expertise by lived experience in the asylum sector in the work, and then they would become a leader and they would actually lead the conversations about our communities of refugees and people seeking asylum. We wanted to focus on employment process, because we feel like there is an institutional power. People can be leader at any time, but if they become staff members, if they progress in their careers, then we would actually see that institutional power actually being used by people for people. So that's why we suggested we are going to challenge one-size-fits-all approach in our employment system in the charities. We will respect the personal circumstances of people, and we will provide the right support to them when we are recruiting them. So these are the three things that we set up to do. The first one is actually we will provide practical job application support to refugees and migrants, experts by experience. But it's not just that. What we wanted to do is actually we wanted to speak to the organizations, to charities, to tell them that they need to change their recruitment system. They need to make it more equitable. They need to make it more inclusive for people and address the individual needs of experts by experience, and not have just one standardized recruitment system. So it's about creating a movement and changing the system that the charities are recruiting. And the third one is actually working through individual staff members and organizations to create the best advice for people, for refugees and migrants, so that they know how to express themselves in their job application, but also for organizations so that they know what are the things that they need to implement when they're recruiting people. So what we've done is we've set up a pilot project since February. We developed a website. We've already supported 3 different roles in 3 different organizations. There have been some sessions from our mentors to the refugees, and we provided some supporting guidance for the mentors. We've successfully supported 1 refugee to get into a role, and you can see the quote from her. She's very appreciative of the support. But this was just a pilot project, and we wanted to kind of see how this is actually kind of working and how this can be expanded to become a movement. Then we created these values that we think the organization should actually commit to. So we are asking them, are you going to commit to leadership pathways for people with lived experience? Are you going to co-produce your recruitment system with them? Inclusion, equity, and accessibility is all relevant in recruitment. So, your job application, if it is too technical, if it is not accessible for people with lived experience, they will be put off in applying for your role. So you need to kind of co-produce and make sure your job application, your job description is accessible and clear to people. And then you will be able to kind of provide that equitable support to them. So when we ask these values, when we ask organizations about these values, 20 of them have already said that, yes, raised their hands, and they said that, yes, we are on this journey. They already signed up, and they are working with us to improve their recruitment system. So this was just a pilot project, but you can see the impact and you can see the interest in the charity sector. It's just about like how to do that, what is the direction, and that's what we are doing in this initiative. We also have volunteer mentors in the sector. These are mostly hiring managers or people who have experience of applying and working in the charity sector, and they provide this kind of support to individuals, written application, interview, career advice, and onboarding support. So that's how we wanted to kind of develop this system and create a movement to actually make sure our employment is inclusive and equitable for people. So that's why I've started this crowdfunding project to develop this voluntary project and actually amplify the impact of that. So I've put some figures there, but simply the first aim that we want to have in this project is actually to pay our subscription to our website and database so that we have a better system for our volunteer mentors to actually engage with our website and actually support people with lived experience when they're applying for charities that are members in our initiative. And then if we get more funding, then we will aim to actually hire an expert by experience to coordinate the work and partner to improve the partnership approach with other charities in the sector. So I'm here asking you, would you please share this project with your networks? Can you please sign up your organization if you are working in the UK refugee and migration sector, or you can simply sign up as a volunteer as well to see how we are doing that. You don't need to do a lot of work. You can do as much or as little as you want and as you are available. We put up a crowdfunding approach for the aims that I've just described. So we would be happy for you to contribute and just give us feedback. See, let us know what you feel and what you think and how we can improve this, so that we can make sure that it is people who are leading the projects. It's not the institutions, organizations. It is actually people who are talking about the conversations about themselves. Thank you.